They say the dead can't speak. But that morning, she did. 3 years after we buried her, my late wife left me a note, tucked under my windshield wiper, shaking in the soft Indiana wind. And the date written on it? The very day she died. I thought my heart had already been broken once. I was wrong. That note didn't just open old wounds, it revealed the cruelest betrayal of my life. My name's Frank Miller, I'm 67 years old, and I've lived my whole life in a small town outside Bloomington, Indiana. I'm a retired factory worker, 40 years on the same line, same steel-toed boots, same thermos of black coffee every morning. My wife, Evelyn, used to say I was a creature of habit. She was right. Even now, 3 years after she passed, my mornings don't change much. Old percolator humming, coffee scent in the kitchen, an empty chair across from me that still holds her robe draped over the back. Most mornings, after breakfast, I drive my old Chevy pickup down to St. Mary's Cemetery. I talk to her a bit, tell her about the weather, the neighbor's dog digging out my garden. It's silly, I know, but it's what keeps me going. But that morning, there was something different. A small folded note, pressed under my windshield wiper. The handwriting was shaky, but I'd recognize it anywhere. Evelyn's cursive. And the date written at the top, August 4th, 2022. The day she died. At first, I thought it was some cruel prank. Maybe some kid from town being clever. But when I opened that note, my hands started shaking. All it said was, "Frank, don't trust Gary." Gary! My best friend of 50 years. We started working together when we were 19. He stood next to me at my wedding, helped me build my porch, even buried his parents beside my wife's grave. After I retired, Gary convinced me to open a little auto repair shop with him. Two old gearheads, fixing cars like the old days, he'd said. And for a while, it felt good, honest work, small-town pride, something to get me out of the house. When Evelyn passed, Gary took over the business side. "You don't need to worry about paperwork, Frank. You've done enough in life. Just rest." His words sounded kind, but the tone, it was the same one my kids used when they thought I couldn't handle technology. Then came the letters. Bank statements that didn't make sense. A tax notice addressed to a new ownership structure. I asked Gary about it once, he laughed, said, "You wouldn't understand all that legal mumbo-jumbo, Frank. Just sign where I marked." And I did. Because that's what old men do when they trust someone they've known longer than their own reflection. But Evelyn's note changed everything. That night, I sat in my recliner, her note on my lap, the television humming static. Something deep in my gut whispered, "Check the books." I drove to the shop early the next morning. Gary wasn't there, but the door was unlocked. I went into the office, papers everywhere, a few files on the desk. I opened one, and my breath caught in my throat. The business, our business, had been sold. Weeks ago. And my name was nowhere on the new deed. The signature on the sale documents was mine. But I never signed them. The final page had a notary seal, and Gary's name printed right beside it. That's when the rest of Evelyn's note hit me. He came to see me the day I died. I didn't understand what she meant at first. But then I remembered, Gary had told me he was too busy to visit her in the hospital. He lied. He'd gone to her room that day. She was weak, confused, signing medical papers, trusting him because he'd always been family. And that's when he must have gotten what he needed, her signature on a power of attorney document. One he later used to steal everything. I drove to his new franchise downtown. Big glass windows, shining floors, a banner that read Miller and Sons Auto. My last name. My wife's name. My life's work. Gary came out with that smug smile. "Frank! How's retirement treating you?" "You sold it," I said quietly. He shrugged. "You're old, Frank. You should be grateful I kept your name on it." Then he turned and walked away. Something inside me cracked, but I didn't yell. I didn't punch him. I just watched him go. And that's when I decided, if he thought my age made me weak, he hadn't seen what experience can do. I spent the next few weeks quietly collecting everything I could. Old ledgers, bank records, photos of us signing contracts. Even security footage from the shop that showed him sneaking into the office after hours. I took them all to a young lawyer named Emma, fresh out of law school, eager but respectful. She reminded me of my granddaughter. When I told her the story, she didn't look at me with pity. She looked furious. She said, "Mr. Miller, this isn't just theft. This is fraud. And elder exploitation." I nodded slowly. "Then let's show him what old-fashioned justice looks like." Together, we built a case. But I wasn't after his money, I wanted his pride. The thing he took from me the day he used Evelyn's dying hand to rob me. So, I set a trap. Not for court, but for everyone in town to see. Within a month, Gary started getting letters, IRS audits, legal notices. His phone never stopped ringing. One afternoon, he showed up at my porch, sweating through his expensive shirt. "Frank," he said, "we can fix this. We're family, remember?" I sipped my coffee, slow. Family doesn't forge signatures. He swallowed hard, eyes darting. "You don't understand how this looks." "I understand perfectly," I said. "And so will everyone else soon." Word spread fast in small towns. Old co-workers stopped by the shop whispering, "Did you hear about Gary? He started losing contracts. His employees quit." I didn't lift a finger. I just waited. Experience teaches you patience. A month later, the town held its annual Community Business Award night. Gary was nominated for Local Business Excellence. The mayor, the paper, everyone was there. When Gary went up to accept his award, the lights dimmed. I stood up in the back of the hall, holding a manila envelope. "Before you hand that trophy out," I said, my voice steady, "there's something the town should know." I walked to the front, handed the mayor the envelope. Inside, copies of every forged signature, every document, and one final piece, a recording. The room went silent as Evelyn's voice played through the speakers, weak, trembling, but clear. "Frank, if you're hearing this, it means Gary came by. Don't let him near our accounts. Promise me you'll protect what we built." The crowd gasped. Gary's face went pale. He tried to speak, but words failed him. I looked him in the eye. "You used my wife's last moments to steal from me. Now everyone knows who you really are." The mayor quietly took the trophy back. The room erupted in whispers. Gary stumbled off the stage, humiliated, exposed. And for the first time since Evelyn's death, I felt peace. Not joy. Not triumph. Just peace. In the weeks that followed, Gary's business collapsed. Lawsuits, repossessions, his name stripped from every sign. I reclaimed the old shop and renamed it Evelyn's Garage. I started fixing cars again, not for profit, but for people who couldn't afford it. Widows, veterans, anyone who'd been forgotten. Sometimes, folks stop by and say, "Frank, you sure showed him." But I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for Evelyn. For her faith in me. For every older soul who's been told they're too old to fight back. I learned something. You can lose your money, your health, even your love, but if you keep your dignity, you've already won. Now every evening, I sit on that porch with my coffee, the sunset washing over the fields, Evelyn's note framed beside her photo. Sometimes, I still talk to her. "Guess you were right, sweetheart," I whisper. People closest to us really can hurt us deepest. But then I smile. Thanks for watching my back, even from up there. Soft music fades. If this story touched your heart, share it in the comments. Tell me, have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted most? Because sometimes, the hardest lessons come from the people we love first.